Alright, so we start this whole thing off with Tony Stark. He's a billionaire. He kind of co-owns his company, Stark Industries, with his dead dad's friend, Obadiah Stane. He's just living his best life until one day, bam, everything gets blown up on his way to a weapons testing, and he gets captured by the 10 Rings, which are a terrorist group in Afghanistan, and they want him to build the Jericho for them, which is a kind of missile that he made, and he's like, no, I don't want to do that. The 10 Rings then proceed to spend the next 20 minutes beating up him and his new prison friend, Ho Yinsen, until he finally was like, okay, fine, I'll build it. Instead, though, he ends up building this entire mech suit thing, which is powered by an arc reactor that's also kind of keeping the shrapnel out of his heart because he didn't want to be carrying around a car battery, if you know what I mean. Thank you, Yinsen, for helping keep him from dying, but then Yinsen goes and gets himself shot. So Tony goes, torches the whole place, blows everything up, and then gets back to the United States, thank goodness, and gets himself a burger. And then he's like, hey, no more weapons from Stark Industries. And that freaks everyone out. Also, this guy, Agent Coulson, shows up and is like, hey, I'm from the Strategic Homeland Intervention Enforcement and Logistics Division. And Pepper, who is Tony's assistant, is like, okay, yeah, sure, good for you, bud. Tony and Obadiah have a quick disagreement over the whole, hey, we're a weapons company that doesn't make weapons anymore thing, but Tony doesn't really care because he gets himself a suit upgrade and then almost gets himself frozen in the atmosphere on his first test flight. He also switches out his old arc reactor for a new one that's a bit better and gives the old one to Pepper, who re-gives it to him in a glass box, and it gives a little, aw, that's cute moment, before we find out that the 10 Ring guys were out in the desert and they found Tony's old suit parts and are now planning to rebuild their own Iron Man suit. Back to Tony, who gets to spend 5 minutes at an event with Pepper before he realizes that Obadiah is still selling weapons behind his back and they're being used to bully other people. Tony doesn't like this, so he goes full superhero on them, saves a village, but then almost gets blown out of the air by the U.S. Air Force. Thankfully, he doesn't, thank you, Rhodey. But then, oh goodness, Obadiah is actually working with the 10 Ring guys. He's a bad guy. No surprise there. Also, Obadiah has this buzzy thing that paralyzes people. Anyways, he uses it. He gets Tony's first suit and then he blows up the 10 Ring guys, betraying them and stuff. Also, Pepper tries to quit, but Tony guilt trips her into staying, and then she finds a FaceTime message that shows that Obadiah is a bad guy. Oh no. Also, Obadiah finds out that she knows he's a bad guy. Oh no. Obadiah proceeds to spend a good 10 minutes yelling at his scientists because they can't figure out how to make the arc reactor thing that Tony was able to make in a cave. And Coulson shows up and is like, hey, Pepper, how you doing? And she's like, help, this guy's evil. He's gonna kill us all. While they're busy with that, Obadiah breaks into Tony's house and steals his reactor from his chest while telling him all his evil plans and bad stuff that he's done. Pepper tells Rhodey what's going on while Tony is low-key dying, but thankfully he's able to get that extra reactor that Pepper put in his glass case for him. Thank you, Pepper, for that sweet touching thing. And then fight time! They all go, and Tony's trying to beat up Obadiah, and Obadiah is trying to beat up Tony, and we don't really know why Obadiah wants to beat up Tony, but he does, and that's what's important. Tony manages to get Obadiah up in the atmosphere, which just freezes up his suit and makes him fall all the way to Earth, but somehow doesn't kill him, so instead they blow up the whole Stark building, and then it's all good. He's dead. Somehow all of them aren't dead. It's all happy, so Coulson gives him a good alibi so that he doesn't have to be like, I am Iron Man to the whole world, and then Tony goes to a press conference and is like, hey, I'm Iron Man.